Sunday. I will be on Friday and Saturday. We have more Kusogrand3 matches those days. But Sunday, I am going to a zoo.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the zoo.
Yeah, they're going to be red pandas, okay?
Seems like a good reason to go to the zoo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic, okay? Everybody be jealous, because I'm going to go see the pandas and steal one.
Don't say that out loud on the air, I think.
Oh, that's okay. If Kusogrand3 ends early, you know the reason why.
Right.
Okay, let me go ahead. Oh, yeah. Turning the audio up. How does that sound to everybody? Does that sound good? I think it sounds good to me. Oh my gosh. Looks like we have probably 2 mochis, a suezo, and a gullum.
Yes. We actually briefly had all 4, but I think Yu Kirby has decided to take the medium-sized handicap and switch it over to mochi, which might be a wise choice.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
I'm sort of giving out the handicaps by feel here, so I see that one of our racers is going to go with the tried and true, probably a good choice. 2 medium strength. I didn't think too many people would go for mochi. I'm really excited to see what Seawolf can do with Golem. That's going to be a hoot.
I'm checking right now to see if they are set for this game because, oh my gosh, we do not have much time. No, we have plenty of time. Hey, they are all ready. Wish them the best of luck.
Yes, Soraya Protera. Mochi is the mascot and also the coolest one. Not the fastest one. Sort of the opposite of the fastest.
Okay, let's go ahead and see if any of them change at the last minute. Seawolf not changing. I'm going to go ahead and give him a +4. Seawolf is currently in the lead.
By 4 stages, it's a huge lead.
For now. For now, it's a huge lead. Okay. And there he goes. Off the cliff.
That was beautiful.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Right now, this is my favorite part about this game. It looks like you're controlling where your characters jump, which is sort of true, except that you're not really controlling where they jump so much as you're controlling the way that the board they're on tilts.
Oh man, we got kazoo music right at the beginning.
Oh yeah, right out of the gates. But this game basically plays like Marble Madness. So if you can imagine, it's not so much that you're really controlling the racer's momentum. You're controlling more or less the way the ground underneath them is tilting, if the camera was also mounted to the ground.
Yeah, let's...
We've already got some progress from Mad Milkman moving into stage 2.
Sweet.
Now, the early stages are really easy. There is a difficulty curve for the first, 6 stages, and after 6 stages, they just sort of gave up on difficulty curve, and it's a total mess. Nobody knows if the levels are going to be harder or easier. It's just a total crapshoot. So they're going to get sort of lulled into a false sense of security and then realize this game is totally got it out for them.
Oh, yeah. Well, it looks like Yu Kirby is on to the second stage. Seawolf going to be moving over there as well. Chrono's having a little bit of a hard time with this stage. So, why... Here's the deal. They have different speeds. They have different high jumps. Why is that necessarily a problem? Or why does it add difficulty to certain characters?
Okay, so there are 3 stats that each racer has. It's your speed, your acceleration, and your jump height. Jump height means that you can clear larger gaps, and also you have a lot more time to react to where you land. So generally, higher jump height is going to make it much easier for a blind runner to play the game.
Yeah.
Higher speed makes it not only that you can obviously make progress in a thing that's all about being a racer, but also it makes it so that you can clear larger gaps and go over bigger hurdles. And since a lot of the tiles are really dangerous, and because a lot of the gaps are literally just holes in the floor, being able to have a high character movement speed is enormous. And so high speed is really beneficial for making progress. The most useless stat is acceleration, which would obviously allow you to accelerate a little bit faster, which usually actually means that the racer goes completely out of your control. And again, using the Marble Madness analogy, it's sort of like... Yeah, he's having a rough time.
That end there. Oh, it looks like I'm going to have to recapture him. No, he actually got a really good jump there. That was beautiful.
But if you can imagine Marble Madness physics, where like you get the board tilted too much and you're trying to tilt it the other direction to sort of correct for that. But then the marble's going all over the place and there's nothing you can do and you don't know what's happening anymore and you can't do anything but react and be sad. That is what this game does to you all the time, pretty much constantly. It's sort of like the stage wobbling on you. It becomes very difficult.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm really excited because now we're starting to see some of the specialty tiles, and the game has a whole bunch of them. We've got tiles that are arrows that sort of bounce you in one direction or another. We've got double arrows that shoot you forward at double speed. We've got skulls that deal you damage and hearts that give you damage back. We've got clocks that are red that give you more time on the timer and clocks that are blue that take it away. We've got weight panels that are super weird. If you pick up a weight panel that is red, it's going to make you weightless and you are going to float for a longer period of time, effectively giving you a greater jump height stat. And the opposite is true. If you get a blue one, you become heavier and your jump becomes really short and shallow. There's also speed up and speed down. We're seeing that right now on Milkman's side. Those tiles that are sort of pink with the S on them, those are speed up and speed down. Again, blue being bad and red being good.
It's just you have no way of knowing what you're going to hit there, especially the first time that you're playing. Oh,
it is a total mess.
I love it. So good.
There's also rocket tiles that you can fly around on. You actually control where the tile floats, but it terminates after a short period of time. And the worst tile in the game is the breakable tile, which is a glass panel that destroys itself when you land on it. You can jump off of it, but if you die, you don't go back to the glass panel that you blew up. You actually go back to the last solid ground you were on, which is much, much worse, particularly later on in the game when they start giving you panels in order. And you have to break a whole bunch of panels to make progress. But then you break them all and you fall off, and there's no panels left to jump on because you broke them all. But you also spawn like 20 minutes earlier in the stage. It's really, really funny.
I love that this game is also a bitrate killer. It looks like Mad Milkman is on stage 7, Chrono's possibly on stage 6, Seawolf and Yu Kirby. I have a hard time telling exactly which stage is which.
I've been speedrunning this a lot lately, so if we need to pick stages in an hour, I've got you covered. But right now, what I'm seeing is Yu Kirby is still on stage 5. It looks like I only caught a bit of it as Yu Kirby fell off the edge. We're on stage 6 over on Kronos' side. We're wrapping up stage 6 on Seawolf's side. And it looks like Mad Milkman is making the most apparent progress. Though again, the racers have a handicap. So racers choosing different options are going to wind up actually being ahead of Milkman, depending on who they selected. In this case, I believe Seawolf is actually still ahead, playing Golem right now, technically on what would be the equivalent of stage 10.
But yeah, this stage is being a little bit brutal to Seawolf.
He's making slow but steady progress, which honestly is the way to handle this in a blind race.
Oh yeah. There we go. He's through. Man,
that's nice progress for you, Kirby, as well.
I'm loving this. This is being so fun.
This has been, without a doubt, one of my favorite games for probably the last 6 months or so.
Oh, I know.
I've really, really enjoyed playing it. I'm really excited to bring it to these runners. But there's no question this is not a good game. It's just really fun for being a bad game.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a good game, but holy crap, is it enjoyable. Mad Milkman taking a game over right there.
So, fun fact for Almacia, slow but steady progress is actually the opposite of what Golem is built for. He's actually the fastest runner for a combination of factors. One is he has the highest speed in the game, tied with Suezo for that. But Suezo has a high jumping height, whereas Golem has the lowest jumping height. And that means that you're actually slightly faster in a straight line, believe it or not.
Oh, so obviously for a speedrun you want to use Golem.
For a speedrun, you actually use Hair, which is sort of the worst of all worlds.
What?
And that is largely because with Hair's enormous jump height, you can actually skip a lot of the intended quote-unquote mechanics in the stages. and just jump over entire sections of levels, saving huge chunks of time. We probably won't see any of those levels with a blind race, but in a speedrun scenario, Hare actually saves several minutes compared to other racers.
Ah, good to know. Both of the top players right now, by the way, on stage 8. Looks like Yu Kirby is trying to catch up. They're a little bit behind, not a huge deal. It's fine to go a little bit slow if you're not confident in the stages. There we go. They're through.
If they need to find that they feel like they need to make a big push, most of these stages are less than 30 seconds long. And so if they really feel like they need to go, it's conceivable that worst could go to first very, very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Early on, they're going to be trying to figure out what the tiles do, where they're moving, that sort of thing. Ooh, Seawolf hit the one tile I forgot to mention, which is the reverse tile.
I love it.
That tile's a jerk.
Yeah, the reverse tile, it just sends you in the reverse direction of where you were going already, right?
Yes, it actually completely reverses 100% your momentum. So if you hit it at an angle, it'll shoot you back the other angle. There's a couple levels later on in the game you're required to chain them together, sort of launching yourself backwards into a different reverse arrow and then using the one behind you to shoot you forward again.
Oh, jeez.
It's kind of a mess. You sort of get pinballed back and forth. One good sort of forgiving thing about this game is that there is no limit on the number of quote-unquote continues. Game over occurs when you fail a stage, but you can continue to play the same stage over and over again until you make progress.
Yeah, so the big thing is to just... I think the first thing that you really need to figure out is how to adjust to the different arrows here. And how to react to if you hit one on accident, because you're going to.
Yeah, and also getting used to the distance that your character can move. With the variance between characters, playing it casually, going from character to character, it's really easy to get super disoriented because Suezo shoots farther forward than everybody else, and if you play Suezo and then go to something like Mochi, you're really going to be really confused about how little ground you're covering. You're going to not make a lot of jumps you feel like you should be able to. Getting used to that basic distance is going to be the biggest hurdle for our runners today, and also the funniest part.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and Mad Milkman hits a death tile. Unfortunately, that's a game over. Going to be starting stage 10 over. Now, Mad Milkman is in the lead, but again, as Kowal said, the other characters have a handicap, and so he definitely needs to make more progress faster than the others.
Yes, in fact, currently, if the race were to end at this exact moment, Seawolf would actually win, being the only one who is burly enough to take Golem into this race. With a huge 4-stage handicap, Golem is actually outpacing the other runners by quite a few stages right now.
I like Yu Kirby's strat. They've been dying quite a bit, so they're mostly going slow to make sure that they don't take too many unnecessary deaths.
I admire the Mad Milkman strat, which is to go super fast all the time. He's been holding up pretty much the entirety of these stages, which has worked out really well for him the first few stages, but he's going to find 10 right now is the stage he's on, and it's not very cooperative to holding up the whole time.
Yeah.
But as he gets into stage 13 and 14, it's going to be a meat grinder for this strategy.
Now, there is a timer, so you can't take too long, and that really becomes apparent later on in some stages where the timer is tight.
Yes, there are some stages where the entire challenge is based on the idea of figuring out how to navigate while the timer is running. One stage actually begins with only 11 seconds on the timer, and it's about as long as stage 10 is, so you have to figure out how to chain your double arrows to actually close the distance fast enough to not die there.
It's fun. It's a puzzle game. Puzzle platformer.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, okay.
It's interesting because as a speed game, even after you've solved the puzzle, there's a lot of inherent challenge. Just trying to figure out how to make any sort of landing anywhere. Precise jumps landing on specific tiles to speed yourself up and chaining them together in an optimal way. It's been a really fun project for myself, Garby, and DJ Bunyan, who've been going through lately and routing all the individual stages, figuring out how to get double arrows as much as possible and pick up speed boosts as quick as possible, and use them to chain into other specialty tiles.
I do like, yeah, the Mad Milkman is starting to test some of the different tiles to see if they'll be helpful at all. Oh! And there we go. Seawolf is doing a pretty good job right now.
Yeah, Seawolf is on stage 9, which is a nonsense stage. The trick with stage 9 is it's a bunch of really short, easy jumps, and if you want to get greedy, you can skip a few of them. But every time you get greedy, there's a very strong risk that you just fall off and die. And so the game is trying to bait you into thinking you can make jumps that you definitely...
There we go, Seawolf on to... is this the same stage as Mad Milkman?
Let's see. Right now, yes. All three of them are on the same stage. They look a little bit different because the game does have a day-night cycle.
Are you serious?
And so Seawolf is actually on a daytime version of the stage, whereas Yu Kirby and Mad Milkman are the nighttime version. Yu Kirby clearing it, though, and making steady progress, so that puts Yu Kirby in second place.
Nice.
Making some strong, steady progress. It's actually first if there were no handicaps, but because Gollum is so bad, Seawolf is technically still in the lead for this race.
Oh, and there goes Seawolf. One death isn't too bad, though, you know? He still has... Well, okay, that was his last extra heart.
So they give you 3 hearts per stage, and picking up hearts allows you to have a larger bank of them to lose by falling off or hitting skulls. You can max out at 5, and it's important to note that you also can pick up multiple tiles for weightlessness or heavier tiles, as well as speed up or speed down. They stack up to 2 times, and picking one up of the opposite type, so picking up speed up when you're already speed down, will negate one of them. So really, there's basically 5 settings for your weight and speed you can manipulate with those tiles.
It looks like Yu Kirby is on the stage where you just get a lot of these flying platforms.
Yeah, you have to chain them together. Yu Kirby is doing 2 things I'm really impressed with. One is he's chaining the tiles together optimally. You actually want to skip basically every other section of those tiles, and Yu Kirby has skipped every other flawlessly throughout the stage. Also, Yu Kirby was in last place coming into stage 7, and with victory on that stage has actually pushed himself into first place.
Well, Mad Milkman is making some progress now.
Stage 10 is the first major hurdle of the game, so that's a big step up. He's going to struggle a little bit with the rocket platforms, I'm pretty sure. Those are really hard to get down in a blind race.
Oh, and... Oh, that's
Wow.
okay. Seawolf having some fun here.
That was really good by Milkman. He actually bullseyed a very difficult jump without knowing what was coming. He did die afterwards, but as long as you fully make the landing and then jump somewhere else afterwards, it actually gives you a measure of progress there. So if you die, you start back at the spot you made the jump.
Yeah, whenever you land, you start back there. Oh, geez, Seawolf! You're scaring me, bro! Oh! And there he goes. This whole game is just terrifying, though.
It's really, really nerve-wracking to watch, and it's surprisingly way calmer to play as a speed game. Oh, I'm really nervous for Yu Kirby. This stage is really, really difficult. It's execution heavy. He's doing a really good job doing it blind, but it's really scary. Nope. Oh, come on, Kirby. Come on, you got this.
Yeah.
You got this. No, no.
Well.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh, it's all good.
Oh, making progress in some of these stages is so hard when you don't know where you're going already.
There we go. Kronos is through the stage. I think they're going to be joining Seawolf in just a little bit right here. Yeah, stage 10.
Yeah,
Now-
so right now, Seawolf is in the equivalent of stage 14 because of the Golem bonus. Whereas right now on the Yu Kirby side, it's the equivalent of stage 14 as well because of the Mochi bonus. It's the equivalent of stage 12 for Kronos with the Mochi bonus. And we're only on stage 11 for Mad Milkman. So starting off with a big lead because he picked the best racer and was able to just sort of hold up and skip a lot of these stages by being fast. Now comes the moment where Mad Milkman has to figure out how to use some of these special tiles and control that speed, which is going to be a really tough thing to pick up.
Yeah, I feel like we need to talk about momentum in this game.
Yeah, it's just like Marble Madness physics, where once you start going a direction really fast, it becomes really, really hard to straighten out the board and cut your momentum down.
Ooh, Yu Kirby hitting a death tile.
So the death tiles take 1 heart off, as does falling off of the board. Not generally a problem on their own, but a lot of the times what will happen is you'll hit a death tile, lose control of your racer, and fall off the map as a result. You end up losing 2 hearts that way, which is a real disaster.
Ooh, as the Mad Milkman, I would have taken one of the extra hearts there, since they were right there.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit risky. I feel like he probably realizes he's a little bit behind the other runners right now, and he's trying to make up for lost time. He also knows what the end of the stage looks like, because he's been there before. He actually died on the left side right before the finish line.
Oh, geez, he almost landed on the death tile, but he got pet through.
That would have been so bad.
Oh, I would have cried. Okay,
I'm
Seawolf
really
still having a hard time with this stage. There, he's through.
That's great news. Yu Kirby is cutting up this stage. The stage he's on right now is really hard to do blind. There's actually, if you're doing this as a speed run, you can skip about half of this stage by chaining together some really awkward, somewhat unintended jumps. But to do it even the intended route is quite difficult. And, he's doing a really good job right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, losing 2 lives in just a very short time. This game does that.
Very often. And once you start losing lives, it's really easy to go on tilt and then start losing more lives. It definitely snowballs into a much worse scenario than you thought it was in before.
Oh, no!
Oh, no!
So close to the end, Yu Kirby. Oh, wow.
That is one of the first major gatekeepers of the run. 10 and 12 are really hard. 14 is an absolute beating, and they're going to have a lot of trouble with that. If any of them make it as far as stage 30, that one's going to be a real meat grinder.
By the way, I appreciate the memes in chat. Thank you, everybody. Oh my gosh. Okay, Chronos grabbing a little extra health. I think that's a good choice. They're taking it slow. Kind of.
Wow, Yu Kirby actually almost got one of the unintended skips there. It's actually really hard for Hair to get, and Hair is the easiest one to get it with. So the idea that Kirby actually nearly went for it was really, really impressive. And actually, I think he might have been able to nail it if he'd committed to it instead of deciding to go play it safe afterwards.
That's the thing. There's so many risks that you can take in this game. Like,
even like the most basic amount of control is incredibly challenging in this game.
yeah.
Oh, Yu Kirby's put himself in a scary spot. He actually hit one of the time down clocks, which means, oh, no, he game over for falling off the edge anyway. But the stage is long, and the timer's not that much time, and if you keep hitting blue clocks, you keep reducing your timers, so it's very easy to become timed out.
Lord Dalek, thank you for the sub, and Back to the Future Part 2 and 3, what? Oh no. I don't want to play those, Koal.
You kind of do, don't you?
I kind of do, but I played them as a kid, and I didn't
That makes
like
it better.
them. Ooh.
So right now, all of our runners are on stage 12. This is not unexpected.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're going to be here for a little while. I suspect that Yu Kirby will actually complete the stage fairly soon. It looks like he's figured out how the basic mechanics work.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like he's trying to pick up safety hearts, which is a really good idea.
Yeah,
especially with Mochi. Mochi's jumps are pretty bad.
But Mochi's so cute.
He's super cute, and he's also the coolest one. Let's be clear.
Oh, yeah. Mochi is definitely cute and cool. Oh, my gosh. I feel like, here's the deal. Seawolf has the biggest handicap due to choosing Golem. So if the match ended right now, Seawolf would take the victory.
Handily, actually, too. He's actually technically 4 stages ahead of Milkman, for Milkman taking one of the better racers, and 2 stages ahead of our other 2 runners taking sort of the medium-sized compromise in terms of handicaps. I'm actually shocked anybody took Mochi with the handicaps that I offered, let alone 2 runners, so this is pretty exciting for me. I'm a huge Mochi fanboy in this game.
I thought you said handy cats for a second, and I was really excited about that.
Yeah, they can hang drywall and do your wiring.
I like it. How do you spoil a game? I don't think you can spoil
You can't. Feel free to say anything you want in chat about this game. It's not going to give anybody any help.
No.
You could even give them accurate directions on how to do the speedrun routes, and they'd be like, what?
There are not enough bunnies. Are there bunnies in the game?
There is 1 bunny in this game, and none of the racers chose him. Yu Kirby actually had been on the bunny at the character select screen right up until the race began, and then switched to Mochi last second. So
Okay.
that's because the bunny is stupid. He's the worst. I hate the bunny.
He's the worst.
Everyone
Did
knows
you
I hate
even
the bunny.
offer anything for the bunny?
No, the bunny's actually the best racer for the speedrun, so picking the bunny gets you nothing except ridicule.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Meekin.
Yeah, bunnies
Except for
are
you,
okay.
Meekin.
Did
You're
you
my
see the
favorite
first
bunny.
game today? It's called Bunny Race.
Yes.
That bunny's racing, okay?
It actually looks pretty fun, I have to admit. Oh, I missed it. Yu Kirby actually made significant progress.
Wow.
And is now into stage 13, which is just a giant maze of nonsense.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, but they're almost done. Oh, time's up.
Some of those tiles are blue clocks, which take away your time.
Wait, the blue ones do?
Yep.
But it's blue.
In this game, blue is bad, red is good.
What?
Yeah, don't tell them that. But blue is bad and red is good.
Well, they'll figure that out.
No, they won't. Oh, it's beautiful.
Justin, don't hit me. Koal, help.
I can't save you.
Well, okay.
Call me Dr. Dickens.
Dr. Dickens is the worst. Nobody likes her.
She's my favorite character.
Oh, okay, she's my favorite too, but she's useless. Oh my gosh. Yeah?
Dr. Flipside, if you want to post an ASCII chart of the stages, feel free. They won't be able to parse it anyway, it's cool.
So I'm taking a look at some of the people who worked on this, and I don't really, think that some of them worked on tons of games. This, Akihiko Shimoji, only worked on a couple Tecmo games, Fire and Ice, and then they also got a special thanks for Ninja Gaiden 2, which is good. Getting a special
That's pretty
thanks is
cool,
awesome
yeah.
for that. This person... Yeah.
There's a weird story about the development of this game, and I don't know how true it is. I heard part of it from High Spirits, and somebody else seemed to confirm a decent chunk of it. But basically, the idea was there was sort of like a sub-development team for Tecmo that had basically already created this game, which is, basically inherent in the design. It was supposed to be this game about hopping across maps covered in tiles. And the Monster Rancher franchise is sort of foisted on them because they acquired the rights and were like really willing to turn around a Monster Rancher game like right now to get value from purchasing these rights. And the developers were kind of annoyed by it being forced on them, so they just made 4 Monster Rancher characters for the game they already made and then released this. And so that's what we get.
Oh, baby.
We're getting a lot of progress from Yu Kirby. Yu Kirby has apparently figured out the game. They are currently on what is one of the bigger roadblocks early in the run, and making slow but steady progress, which is nice to see. But also currently being on stage 14 means that they are tied for the lead with the Seawolf, in spite of the Seawolf's larger handicap for taking a crappier racer.
I'm sorry, I just saw that one of the people here One of the people who worked on this also worked on Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. Oh, baby.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you know, that was a pinnacle.
That was a classy title.
Yeah, it's honestly, you know, most of them have just been typical Tecmo workers, have helped out quite a bit with the different Monster Rancher games.
Monster Hunter is what I gave out last.
Sure it is. Oh, Monster Hunter's fun, Qual.
Well, technically it was Momono Hunter Yoko, but close enough. Still a great game. Actually, it looks really fun. I kind of wanted to speedrun it anyway. So, big progress coming out from Kronos here, moving into stage 14, bringing them up into the same stage as Yu Kirby and into a 3-way tie for first place.
Nice. So, yeah, Yu Kirby on stage 14, Mad Milkman still having a hard time with this kind of maze-ish level. They're on the same level as Seawolf, which we expected Seawolf to be here for a while due to playing as Gollum.
Yeah, every stage is going to be a challenge for Seawolf, but a 4-stage handicap is absolutely huge, especially when it's expected that these runners will probably hit a brick wall right around stage 30 after the hour is mostly up. And if they're all right around 28, 29, and 30, Gollum is going to be the thing that breaks this match wide open. So it's a very bold move to take Golem, but it might really work out for Seawolf here.
Oh, yeah. High Spirit said they tried Gollum and it felt impossible to beat the game.
I can tell you that it is definitely possible. I have done it. I have a recorded run of it. It's like 2.5 hours long.
Yu Kirby through the stage. Very nice.
Solid progress here.
Yeah, Mochi has good sound effects. We got a good player, or we got a good character for our sound today.
We got Mad Milkman up into stage 13 as well. Now he's got a lot of ground to make up, but eventually it's going to come to the point where Suezo's better movement is going to really trump a lot of the mechanics the other racers are bringing to the table.
Oh yeah. So one thing you haven't really talked about is ledges with this game. Your favorite mechanic.
Yes, so weird things about the movement. Your movement rate, forward to backward and vice versa, changes based on where you are in the animation cycle for the bounce of the racer that you are racing with. So when you are descending, you don't move forward quite as quickly. When you're immediately ascending, you don't move forward quite as quickly. But at the apex of your jump, you are flying forward to backward or vice versa at a very high rate. When you make contact with the ground, you don't actually stop moving. In other words, your pogo stick is not anchored to the ground like a pogo stick would be in real life. It actually continues to slide. And while your movement is reduced in this way and you're sliding around on your pogo stick, you can actually slide completely off of a block. If you do so, the game does not register your jump as having completed, and it will actually put you at the previous location in the event of a death, meaning you could lose a lot of time by sliding off the front edge of blocks very often.
Oh yeah, and I've already seen it happen tons here. Oh, Kronos right into the hole.
It's honestly the biggest hurdle when it comes to speedrunning the game. Overshooting it is a real big problem, and it's fairly common for runners, even when they know where they're going, to hit the front lip of a tile and just barely squeak off the front edge of it and die as a result. Now, if you do die without game overing, obviously you can go back to the last solid ground that you touched, so it's not the end of the world. However, in a speedrun scenario, you also are going to lose your speed boosts and gravity boosts, meaning that some strategies become unavailable to you in the event that you accidentally fall off a ledge. So in addition to losing time naturally from just falling down and waiting for the animation, you also lose all your perks.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of progress from Yu Kirby. He's really tearing it up now.
Yeah, Yu Kirby
stage
is
17.
Destroying this. Oh, geez, Seawolf. Oh, but there's nothing that you can really do because this is Gollum.
So the fun thing about that stage is that the arrows do pretty much all of the work for you. So the more you fight them, the more trouble you will have. Golem is working against Seawolf in a big way here because Golem's speed is really high. So every time that Seawolf touches the button, which he really shouldn't need to do at all, Golem completely flies out of place and there's nothing he can do about it.
Nice. Yeah, I know that some people in chat have asked about the effects of different tiles. The question mark will send you left, right, up, or I mean forwards or backwards, so could be any of those.
Yes, the question mark functions exactly like a basic arrow tile, but it is a completely random direction chosen at random at the time that you start the stage. I should probably run them down again. I don't know who's joined us midway through the match, but
sure.
Basic arrow tiles shoot you roughly the distance of one jump in whatever direction the arrow faces. Double arrows shoot you double distance straight forward. You've got speed up and speed down tiles that do exactly what you think. Weight up and weight down tiles that do exactly what you would expect. Hearts and skulls, which increase your life or reduce your life. The random tiles that shoot you in different directions. You have tiles with a big R on them. They reverse your momentum 100%, often rocketing you straight backwards. And you've got breakable glass tiles, which when you destroy them, you sort of slow down a little bit. You bounce in an awkward way. And in the event that you die from that jump, you actually go back to the last solid ground you touched, which means that if you hit a bunch of breakable tiles and then die, you could potentially lose a lot of time. And speaking of time, those are the last couple tiles we have. There are clocks that make your timer go up or down. Red clocks are good, blue clocks are bad. We also get to see rocket tiles right now, which we're seeing on Mad Milkman's side. Looks like he's taking those tiles for safety, which is a really good strategy when you don't know where you're going.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and right into the hole.
There's an uncanny amount of accidentally barely clipping the one place you can die in this game.
Oh, it happens all the time.
Even when you're speedrunning it, even when you know exactly where to go, somehow, inexplicably, it's so easy to fall in the one pit you can't make it away from. Yu Yu Kirby is on fire. In stage 18 right now, it's a scary stage, taking the heart for safety. Looks like he's trying to avoid the speed increase tile, which is probably a good choice when you don't know where you're going.
Oh, yeah.
This is a very long and complicated stage with a lot of weird specialty arrows, so we'll see how this goes.
Andy's showing up and saying this game isn't bad, just impossible.
Andy's correct.
I would say it's enjoyable, but some of the mechanics are kind of bad. And also, what the crap is a Monster Rancher game doing like this?
Being the best Monster Rancher game, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And I say that fully acknowledging the fact I don't actually like regular Monster Rancher games, but I love this one. Oh, this level's being really rude to Kirby. It's going to give some other racers a chance to catch up.
So, this game actually has a level editor?
It does. You can make your own levels. However, you can only save them on your regular basic PlayStation memory card. So if you want to make levels for your friends, you need to put them on a card and hand them the card, or save it on the hard drive of your PlayStation 3 and let them play it.
Still, for PS1 era, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it actually has a surprising amount going on. Honestly, if you started with this framework and said, what can we add to this to make it more fun? They basically fulfilled all of those notches. Like anything you could list off to make this premise fun, they figured out how to do and implement it. So I don't have a lot of complaints about it. It's actually really fun. It's cruel but fair.
Yeah.
And again, because of the Marble Madness physics, anybody who played that game as a kid is going to immediately sort of recognize how the game works and get right into it, whereas somebody who doesn't recognize that feel is going to struggle a little bit more with the controls.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I'm just trying to find... Of course, there's not even a Wikipedia article about this game. They're like, nah, we'll go ahead and ignore it.
I think they tried to sweep this one under the rug.
Yeah. But this is definitely the best Monster Rancher game. Like, seriously.
I agree wholeheartedly. I find regular Monster Rancher to be kind of boring. And this is an action-packed romp. It's fun, it's silly, it's hard to take it seriously. The stages are cruel at times, as we're seeing on Kirby's side, with that double arrow basically putting you exactly into the one gap every single time like clockwork. You can hit that arrow and survive, but you need to know where you're going in advance.
Yeah, Seawolf is really feeling the handicap here. He still is on the arrow stage, which isn't too much of a surprise because Gollum is Gollum. Oh,
yeah, he sucks pretty bad. Now, the good news for Seawolf is once he gets through 12, 13 is a breeze, and if he completes 12 and 13 before these runners finish 17 and 18, put himself right back in the discussion with the leaders here.
Oh, yeah.
Being in 4th place, not a big deal. Once he gets over this stage 12 hurdle, he's going to be rocketing forward at a very high pace.
Now, Kowal did offer handicaps for people who are just tuning in. Kowal offered handicaps for people who wanted to choose some of the more difficult characters like Mochi and Gollum. So Mochi gets a +2 to their stage count, and Gollum gets a +4. So that's what those numbers mean on the screen next to their names.
So that's why we see Seawolf really struggling with stage 12, but actually still being in the discussion, with Golem being such a huge advantage. Whereas Mad Milkman is only a stage behind Yu Kirby, but Yu Kirby took a more difficult racer, putting Yu Kirby 3 stages ahead of Mad Milkman as an example. Nothing in this game is free, so picking the better racer helps, but not that much.
Now, Seawolf is going a little bit slow here. I think that's a good idea. He's trying to stock up on health.
I've seen him go out of his way to pick up a couple of the red clocks too, which indicates that 1, he's willing to slow down to collect the items to play the level slow, which is good. And 2, he recognizes that the blue clocks are bad and the red clocks are good, which flies in the face of what you would expect from normal video games.
Yep, he's definitely doing that.
I think he's going to complete it on this attempt.
I think so. He's got a lot of lives and a good amount of time.
He's getting used to the momentum. I think he's got it. Here we go. Yeah! All right.
Yeah!
Seawolf back in the discussion.
Seawolf is through. Okay,
so he's
Seawolf
only on
is
stage
definitely
13,
back
but
in
technically
this.
it's 17 with the handicap.
Yeah, Mad Milkman. Holy crap, this stage has a lot of precarious jumps.
This is the stage that forces you to learn how to control your momentum. And it's something that Suezo really struggles with. But if Mad Milkman can clear the stage and learn those techniques, he's going to be a terror for the rest of the race.
Yeah, I'm thinking Seawolf has actually done a lot of that work figuring out momentum in some of the earlier stages. So if he does get to this stage, he might not have nearly as much trouble as some of the other players.
Yeah, and he's also went out of his way to learn what all the different tiles do. That's a big deal, and it's going to be a huge advantage in the event he makes it through the next, 2 or 3 stages, and the tiles start to become the central mechanic.
Oh geez, Mad Milkman falling down. It's something that's very easy to do. There's a speed up tile that Mad Milkman could have gone for. I'm a little bit worried that he might not have enough time. Is he pretty close to the end of the stage here?
He's a little more than halfway through, but it's a straight shot once he gets over these gaps, so he's in decent shape.
Okay, I was worried about time.
It's looking good for him now. He should be able to make it.
Okay, good.
One thing we have not seen from any of our runners yet is getting treasures, which is a part of the run. You get a treasure from 4 consecutive stages without a game over, which obviously with game overs on stage 1 and 2, we haven't seen that happen.
Death right at the end. Oh, that was a heartbreaker.
Yeah, that one hurt. The good news is he knows what to do now to play it safe, so he's probably going to make it this time if he doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
Well, don't start like that, I guess is the lesson to learn. Looks like he's taking a death on purpose here. I can't say I blame him.
I thought I saw someone get 1 treasure.
It's possible somebody got 1. I haven't seen it happen yet. The treasure does not do anything at all except waste 4.5 seconds.
So do you want to avoid treasures in a speedrun?
Well, the only way you can avoid it is by getting a game over, which wastes more than 4.5 seconds. So in a speedrun, you just sort of grin and bear it. You get a treasure every 4 stages and kind of grimace.
I love it.
Well, I like this. I like seeing that Kronos has figured out what the weightless tiles do and is not afraid to go get one to make Mochi a little bit better suited for this giant jumping maze. Plus the speed tile. It's going to make Mochi pretty good. Oh, just slipped off the corners. That hurts. It was a really sound strategy. It just backfired a little bit.
Yeah. He's going to go for the heart. Good. Got to get that heart.
So about 5 minutes ago, Seawolf was in 4th place. Right now he's tied for 1st as a result of that handicap. So the Golem handicap has proven to be pretty much exactly in line, which I'm a little surprised by. Sort of pulled the handicap amounts just out of my hat at the last minute, and I'm really happy with where they came out. So.
Oh! Seawolf got extra gravity, and because of that, he did not quite make the jump that he wanted to.
Yeah, Golem is heavy enough as it is. He doesn't need the help being heavier.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. It was one of those things that if you're not watching carefully, it's super easy to miss what happened there and why he died.
Yeah, plus, like, it exacerbates all your greatest flaws. So one of the things that comes up a lot in the speedrun, because we play Hare in the speedrun, Hare has this super long kind of floaty jump animation, which is kind of frustrating. Sometimes you land right in front of the finish line, you have to wait for the entire animation to play to finish the final jump of the stage or what have you. But when you get a weightless upgrade for Hare, it takes forever to land, and you waste so much time just sitting around floating to your destination.
I love it.
Getting a gravity increase for the Golem makes the Golem's flaws twice as bad, and it becomes something that is utterly impossible to control.
Oh, and there goes Seawolf.
DJ Bunyan just answered an important question in chat. In the event that you hit a skull, you do not lose your bonuses, but if you fall off the ledge, you do. So while the penalty is still only losing a heart, it's better to hit a skull than fall off of the map.
That's good to know.
Seeing some boldness from Mad Milkman. He's passing up all these safety tiles. He knows what they do. He knows they're safe.
Oh,
come on. Oh,
and there we go. A death.
He almost had it. He was close. He was real close. I was surprised he went for the double arrow. That was shocking to me. He must feel like he's in last place, and he's trying to make up for time.
He's about tied with Seawolf, though, for places. Seawolf is on 14 with a 4-stage handicap.
Yep.
Mad Milkman is on 18.
We still have Kronos on 17, and that there's no shame in that. 17 is a brutal stage to do blind.
Oh, yeah.
Mochi is really poorly equipped for this stage in particular, so not surprising to see some struggles from Kronos on this stage.
Yeah, I can see that Mochi is not exactly the most stellar for this stage. Don't get too greedy. Don't get too greedy.
Oof. Yu Kirby actually got real greedy right there. It almost paid off. Milkman's got the right idea. Play it slow, play it safe, go where you know the arrows go. He missed a double there, but I think he knew that he was going to be shooting off to the end of that platform, and I think he was ready to jump immediately afterwards in the event that he had to. The jump animation, by the way, is not something you control. It is automatic. It is on a cycle. Yes. So you will just constantly perform the same jump over and over again. And in fact, in a stage, the only button you use is the directional pad. Pressing any of the other buttons on the face of the controller does exactly nothing except for start, which pauses.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that they were able to make something that simple. Mad Milkman finishing the stage, very nice.
That's huge. This is his chance to actually get this Suezo advantage going, because now he's going to go into some stages that are a little bit less obnoxious to control when you're fast. This one's a lot of straight lines. As long as he plays it safe, he'll clear this one without too much trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Looking like he's got most of the momentum tricks down too, is controlling this character a lot tighter than he was 10 minutes ago. It takes a little while to get used to how they move and how the physics work, but it seems like he's really starting to get it down now.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, whenever I've watched runs like this, it's just you have to think when you land, what's your momentum and how do you use that momentum to your advantage? And if you can do that, I think you're going to be successful playing this.
Yeah, it's the same trick going into the speed run too. Like, it really doesn't change anything. The big deal is figuring out how to hit those arrow tiles with the right momentum as well. So it's a lesson that you're constantly learning with this game and you constantly have to improve on. I'm really impressed with Mad Milkman's ability to adjust to it so quickly.
And there we
get
go.
Through the stage. Very clean. Nice.
Kronos is starting to make some pretty good ground in this stage. It looks like... Is Seawolf on the... No, it's just the same...
Yeah, Seawolf is on stage 14 right now, which is the equivalent of stage 18. Which actually means that Mad Milkman is ahead of him right now, being on stage 19.
Yes.
Without a handicap. Though currently the two Mochi runners are both on stage 18 and would be counted as stage 20. Kirby completes the stage. Very nice. Maintaining that lead, although it's a very tenuous grasp.
Yep, on to stage 19. Mad Milkman taking a dangerous fall. Looks like Kronos is still on 18.
Kronos on 18. We've got stage 19 on Kirby's side. Stage 20 for Mad Milkman. And 14 for Seawolf. And again, that's not unexpected. Seawolf was the only one brazen enough to take the full handicap by taking the crappiest racer. So.
I love that, okay? I love people who are going to take the biggest risks because you don't know how much of a handicap it will be. And yeah, Gollum, he's adorable, but yeah, he's kind of terrible.
He's my favorite aesthetically, but he is really bad to control, so I'm excited Seawolf decided to be that bold. I'm also really excited we got some runners taking Mochi, and I'm really happy to have this much variety, so I honestly could not be happier with the handicap system put in place for this game.
And Mad Milkman taking a game over right there. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Pretty much every screen has a lot of action. It's hard enough, like, paying attention to one runner of this game. Having to keep track of 4 people is a little bit of a challenge.
Yes, Seawolf completes stage 14. That
nice.
Is huge.
He's back in this.
Brings him to the equivalent of stage 19. He's still in 4th place, but again, he's in striking distance. He's gone from worst to first now like 3 times, so it will not be surprising to see him come back into the race. Milkman making some good progress through the initial maze of arrows. It's really tough to get used to how this stage wants you to play the game. Getting used to that initial pattern is actually something where, again, like that other stage, the less you fight the arrows, the better. And it's hard to get used to the idea that you kind of want to just let the game do what it wants to do without you interfering with it.
Seawolf is just blasting through this stage, though.
Oh, shredded it. That was beautiful.
There we go. And that moves him up, I believe.
It's going to bring him to the equivalent of stage 20, tying him with Mad Milkman and tying him with Kronos. However, Kirby still in the lead, technically. Being on stage 19 with a 2-stage bonus counts as stage 21.
Yes.
So 1-stage lead on a couple of our runners here.
Man, you are so good at keeping track of all this, Kowal. Thank you.
I know what all the levels look like. I've been playing them a lot lately.
Well, yeah.
Speedrunning in this game is an absolute joy, but you start getting really used to what the levels look like and what you're supposed to be doing in them.
Seawolf grabbing an extra heart. I think that's a good idea. It was a bit of a risky jump, but it paid off.
Yes, and now he's really getting used to how much movement that Golem can have. He actually has a huge jump radius, he just doesn't jump in the air for very long, so you have no time to adjust to where he's going to land. You kind of have to already be ready to go wherever you're going.
I believe that ties him with Yu Kirby right now.
I believe you are right, though I am being Comcasted right now, so stand by.
No! No! Comcast! Don't do this to my friends! Take me instead!
There we go. All right, we're back. Everything seems to be fine here now.
Okay, good.
All right, so we have Seawolf now in stage 17, which is huge, although he's looping on my screen. Let me reset this multi-twitch.
Oh, Mad Milkman falling off. Yeah, Seawolf is on the one where you really have to learn how to control your character.
Yeah, it's going to be rough for Seawolf, but it counts as stage 21, which is huge. It puts him ahead of the Mad Milkman. It puts him tied with Yu Kirby, and it also puts him ahead of Kronos. So he's actually tied for first place right now. But because Yu Kirby got to this point of progress first, I would say Yu Kirby's in first place with Seawolf in second.
Agreed. I agree with that. That's a good way to break the tie. Oh, Kronos! I just love that. The arrow's like, yeah, you dead now. How about you go away?
The developers sort of ran out of ideas for a lot of these stages, so a lot of them are just mazes of arrows with no indication of where you're supposed to go. I think the development team probably broke into like 6 or 7 different mini teams to create level designs. So some of them are really brilliant and cool and kind of pretty and fun to play, and some of them are just mazes of arrows from somebody mailing it in.
We're almost out of time on Kronos' side. I like that the music picks up.
Yeah, it really reminds you that you're in trouble.
What a nice
Oh,
game.
come on, Kronos. Come on, Kronos.
So close!
Yeah! Nice. Oh, and look at Seawolf, too, clearing the stage in record time. That looks beautiful.
Wow,
moving
fantastic.
into stage 18, counting as 22.
See, I told you the
putting
earlier
him-
practice that he had getting used to momentum would give him an advantage on that stage.
He has gone from 4th place to 1st place for the 4th time in this match.
I love it. Milkman right now is currently in 4th, but they could change that if they get through this stage and the next.
I guarantee to you that every single one of these runners thinks they're in 4th place.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think I'm in 4th place, and I'm not even playing. Oh, Milkman!
Oh, Seawolf just had the most clutch landing and then missed one of the easy jumps right afterwards. And that is basically a nice tale of what this game does to you.
Yeah. That's about right for this game.
One thing I greatly appreciate about Seawolf is that he leaves his webcam on for his Kusogrand3 matches.
Oh yeah, it's funny to see him react. A little bit stressed for Kronos. It's their first time playing this stage, so not a huge deal if they time
That
out.
was huge.
Oh,
Kronos
there
just
we go.
wrecked it. Kronos taking a lead on Yu Kirby, who's been consistently in first place for most of the race. That puts both Seawolf and Kronos ahead of Yu Kirby.
Wow.
And Milkman is in position to strike as well. If he can clear stage 20, he will also be tied with Kirby and could potentially push Kirby out of 3rd place.
Yeah, Yu Kirby. I think this game, you know, the difficulty is weird. It's just strange. And I think that once you start failing or messing things up, it's easy to start getting angry at it.
Yeah, it can become a rage game really quickly, and just simple biological problems. You hold nothing but the D-pad for so long, the D-pad becomes sort of oily and slippery, and your thumb starts to slide, or it locks up, or something else goes wrong. And in a game where all you're using is the D-pad and everything controls super touchy, that's enough to get you game overed.
There goes Mad Milkman taking another death.
TJ Bunyan and I have been joking that it's sort of part of the run, that every 5 stages or so, you sort of wipe the D-pad down with your shirt so you can keep going without sliding off the D-pad.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I guess Back to the Future is kind of similar in that respect.
Oh yeah.
It's rough. Whoa!
And
Milkman just went for the gold on a super long jump and almost got it. That would have been awesome if he nailed that.
oh yeah. Okay, it looks like he increased his gravity. I'm not sure he meant to, but that'll make it a little bit difficult to know exactly where he's going to land, but he's doing okay here. And there we go, another game over. There are lots of game overs for new players for this game.
Yeah, this game is not kind. Oh, Seawolf
Just
is
sliding.
almost through the stage. He knows what needs to be done. He knows he's low on time. He's got it. I think he can make it. Whoa! Oh,
Seawolf!
boy.
Oh,
Oh,
my gosh! Oh. It's okay. He's still doing okay.
God. Come on, don't go for the double. Oh, no. No!
No! Oh my gosh. Okay. Seawolf going for a double, getting the reverse, but managing to sort of stay alive for a little bit.
Yep, a quick recap on our positions right now. Seawolf is on stage 18, which with Gollum counts as stage 22 for the purposes of our race. Next up, we do have Kronos, who is also technically on stage 22 with a 2-stage bonus from Mochi, being on a natural stage of 20. We have UU Kirby on stage 19 with a 2-stage bonus going to stage 21. And we have Mad Milkman on stage 20 with no handicap.
Everybody's got a boogie in order to have a chance. Oh, Mad Milkman is really close to the end of the stage here. I think he's lined up with exactly what he wants.
Yeah, I think he sees the end in sight. He's just got to not choke it here. Come on. You've got this, Mad Milkman. Just be safe. Get that heart. And then just go for it, man. You got this. Get in there. Get in there. Go for it. Be greedy. Yeah! That's good stuff.
And that's how you do it. We've got just 40 seconds left, okay? 40 seconds.
Milkman is probably not going to be able to make up ground on the other runners here, but he has a shot. It's not shut out yet.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, right now he's getting some plot. He could be mashing. There he goes. That helps. I have forgotten to mash at that plot every single time, and I've been speedrunning this game for months.
20 seconds left. And there we go. Seawolf finishing stage
Seawolf
18.
Seals up first place. There's no way any of the racers can catch him anymore.
And there we go. That is time. Kowal, what a fantastic match. This has been
That was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
So I guarantee that none of these racers know where they play. Oh, Kirby popped offline like immediately.
Kirby not really enjoying that match, it looks like.
That's all right. Sometimes it's a rage game. Sometimes it's really fun. It's a little different for everybody. But
I would say it all depends on who's playing, you know? And the game really vibes with certain people and really doesn't with others. So good job, everybody here. This was a fantastic match. Do you want to give the places here?
Yes, absolutely. So in first place, bring themselves all the way to stage 19 with a 4-stage bonus for taking Golem is the Seawolf. First overall, counting as stage 23. In second place, we have Kronos V2, who took Mochi with a 2-stage handicap all the way to stage 20, placing at stage 22. Then we have UU Kirby in third place, who also took Mochi, making it to stage 19 and getting a 2-stage bonus to stage 21. And the player who ironically made the most actual progress, going all the way to stage 21 by themselves without a handicap, was the Mad Milkman, who took Suezo, unfortunately getting to stage 21 after UU Kirby made it to stage 19, putting them in fourth place. There was a ton of lead changes here.
Oh, yeah.
Most notably the Seawolf, who constantly ping-ponged back and forth between first and fourth over and over.
That That was nuts, okay? I did not expect it to be that back and forth between everybody. But what a fun four-way race there. And I really enjoyed those choices for the handicaps. And yeah, it came out being pretty even between everybody. Great job there. So congrats everybody. We have more matches on Friday. Yeah, Friday night. Oh my gosh. Come for the fun. We also have some on Saturday, so be sure to check out the schedule. Come and just have a blast. Oh, Kowal, thank you again for choosing this. I think that it's